Spanking is stupid. What's up, Unbroken Nation? Hope that you're doing well wherever you are in the world today. That intro and the title of this episode should tell you everything that you need to know about what I'm about to talk about. One of the most polarizing things that I put on social media is my argument against spanking. And the reason why I'm bringing this up on this show particularly is because I think it's a conversation that needs to be had. It's a conversation we need to dive back into. It's been a few years since I've brought this up. And I was on a friend's podcast the other day, and he brought up the fact that people were destroying him on social media for telling other fathers that they should not spank their children. He actually came up with a list of multiple reasons why you should not spank and alternatives to doing so. One of which, and I think I understand the reason why he got destroyed by people unfairly and unjustly, may I add, is because he said one of the reasons that it's stupid to spank kids is that it's an indication that you're not communicating as a parent and you're inconsistently communicating. I thought to myself, yep, that sounds about right. That post when I make it, and I'm going to make it again because I want to. I always end up going to war with people. And it makes me think of that Jay-Z quote I always tell you guys about, never argue with a fool because from a distance people can't tell who is who. And the reason why I want to talk about this today is because I just want to voice my opinion on it. When somebody messaged me and they're like, your platform, you're such on a soapbox sometimes. I'm like, it's my show. I should be on a soapbox. I want to talk about the things that matter to me. I'm not going to placate you because you don't like what I have to say. And in fact, if you don't, just don't follow me. Don't listen. Turn this off right now. And if you're pro spanking, just hear me out. Because people will go to this place about this conversation and they'll go, well, I turned out fine. And I think to myself, yeah, but did you really? Did you really turn out fine? Because I'm pretty sure that your wife that I'm coaching is telling me that you don't know how to communicate. I'm pretty sure that your kids are telling you that you don't ever hug them. Pretty sure that your friends are talking about the fact that you're never vulnerable. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of shit that's happening in your life right now. And obviously, I'm painting a very general and broad aspect picture here, but there's it's insane to me that people would say I turned out fine after being abused as a child through spanking. And they'll go, "Oh yeah, but I was only hit once or twice at a time." And I go, "Well, but what does that teach you?" Think about this for a second. Like actually think about this. If abuse, which I believe it is the theft of identity and the pain that we suffer and the experiences that we have are a result of us trying to be who we believe that we're capable of being as children, then that means that those things that occur that result in punishment tell our brain that it's not okay to be us, even if it's once or twice at a time. When you look at the results of the ACE survey, the Adverse Childhood Experiences Survey done by Dr. Folletti and the California Center for Disease Control and Kaiser Permanente in the 90s, they surveyed over 18,000 people and they found a direct correlation between childhood trauma and abuse and long-term detrimental health ramifications. The ACE survey was a series of 10 questions. I won't go into them all, but you can check them out if you just search ACE survey or if you read my first book, Think Unbroken, I dive into the research. A couple of the questions are, were you ever hit? Did a parent not take care of you or take you to the doctor when you needed? Was anyone in the household suicidal? Did anyone in the household go to prison or jail? And all these things have a correlation on a long enough timeline to detrimental health ramifications. Depending on where you fall in that survey, if you're like me with an ACE score of 10, you could be up to 5,200% more likely to commit suicide. 2,200% more likely to be an alcoholic, 2,000% more likely to use tobacco. And then you look at the other things like pulmonary embolisms, heart attacks, diabetes, asthma, heart disease, exponentially skyrocket. Why? Well, because when you grow up in a cortisol state and you're constantly in fight or flight, the thing that happens is your body never goes into rest and digest to recover. And so when you're always in fight or flight, your body's only trying to do one thing, and that's to survive. And that just does not serve you. And what happens is you look at that and people will go, "Yeah, but I was fine. I turned out okay. Yes, my parents spanked me, but nothing happened." Are you sure? Are you sick? Are you unwell? Do you have anxiety? Do you have depression? Do you get lost in conversation? Do you have a hard time conveying messages? Do you find yourself constantly stuck and making decisions? Do you feel like you don't know who you are? Do you feel like every time that you do make a choice, you're second guessing yourself? Do you struggle through intimacy and vulnerability and connection and commitment? Do you feel like everyone is out to get you? Are you sure it didn't impact you? And look, I know I sound ornery right now because I am. I'm kind of pissed off. Like I think about this and it drives me crazy. It's ignorant to hit a child. You're stupid if you do. And look, ignorant is a lack of knowledge, right? Ignorant is the lack of knowledge. And it's one of those things that when I think about it, I go, we have to do better, right? Stupid. I'm going to read the definition of stupid to you. It's tending to make poor decisions or careless mistakes marked by a lack of intelligence or care. And people who spank their children are making poor decisions marked by a lack of intelligence, thus stupid. And I will tell you to your face. And the reason why is because it's ignorance. It's pure ignorance. No, there is not one drop of fucking research on planet Earth that shows that hitting a child makes any fucking rational sense. It is one of the most detrimental actions that we can have as a human being, that we can take as a human being to hit a child. Think about this. I'm 6'4", 220. I work out 5-6 times a week. I'm pretty strong, pretty big guy. Cannot imagine hitting a child. I know what I'm capable of doing. I know the strength that I possess. More importantly, I know the detrimental long-term ramifications of that abuse. You know, there's causation and correlation to everything that happens. I see this in my clients. I see this in the struggles that they have to go through in learning to love themselves. I see it in myself in my journey of the same thing. I see it in the people who reach out to me, who listen to this podcast, who show up to the events, who watch me speak. We're all talking about the same thing. That abuse impacts us. And so while, yes, I'm on a soapbox right now, I'm going to tell you right now, spanking is stupid. It makes no fucking sense. And in fact, it's probably one of the most harmful things that you can do to a child. It's one of the most harmful things. Hitting people is just not acceptable. It's just not. I mean, outside of the rules of organized and official combat, which you know I'm a complete lover of. I love mixed martial arts. Outside of that, there's no space. And we teach children young, and people go, "Yeah, but my dad hit me and his dad hit him and everything was fine." Or my mom hit me and her mom hit her and I'm okay. And it's just not true. When you dive in and you understand the truth about those experiences, what you recognize is the negative impact and the damage that you're leaving in the wake of your ill informed decisions. Now, look, I recognize and I hope to God, I don't know because I don't have any statistics on this, that the majority of you listening in the Unbroken Nation are not those who are hitting your children. I would guess 99.9% of you are not. But what I want you to do, and this will be uncomfortable, but I think it's necessary, is to really share this episode, to share it with friends, to share it with family, to share it on your social, to share it with people that you know are disciplining their children in this aspect. I mean, there's not a single drop of evidence in any research over the last 50 years that indicates that there's efficacy in spanking. It is not a discipline that works because you're reinforcing mistakes with fear. You're reinforcing the things that children have to figure out on their own with pain. And that's it's a very strong indication that if you're hitting a child, you're not paying attention. You're not healed. You haven't done the work. You haven't learned. You haven't educated yourself. And people will always, here's the argument. Here's my favorite argument that I love to debunk. So let's do it right now. People go, well, you know, I think my parents did the best with what they had. I go, sure. Okay, that's fair. I get it. They did the best with what they had. I wonder if they had the library. I wonder if they had access to books about psychology. I wonder if they could have accessed Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I wonder if they could have read about Gestalt therapy. I wonder if they could have been in a position to start learning to break the cycle. And people will go, well, I turned out fine. All right, if you say so, I'm going to trust you. I don't know. I'm not you. I don't know if your parents did do their best. I don't know. Mine didn't. They had access. The library was literally around the corner from our house. It's where I ran away to all the time, so I was safe. You know, did they do their best? I don't think so. I don't. And people argue that. And you know what? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm fucking dead wrong. Maybe I'm wrong about all this, but I don't think so. And if there's one pedestal that I will ever stand on, it's this one. And I'm not coming down. I think spanking kids is stupid. I think it's the dumbest shit we can fucking do. And I think that if you're a parent who has hit your kids, it's time to stop. It's time to stop and fucking grow up and become a mature, responsible human being who is creating life for the betterment of those who come after them. People always talk about, I want to make the world a better place than what I came into. You cannot hit your kids and expect that to be true. Because I'm going to tell you what happens. In 17 years and 25 years, they're coming over here into this program. And again, I pray and I hope that the listeners of the Unbroken Nation are not in that category. And I hope that you'll share this for this purpose because we need more attention and eyes on it. And I know I'm fired up. I know this is an emotional episode, but it drives me crazy because it's like the reality is we can change all this today. The mission of this show, of Think Unbroken, and of everything that I do, is to end generational trauma in my lifetime through education and information. I'm not even being crass. If you send me a research study that proves spanking a child makes them fucking president of the United States and the best father and the best lover and the best communicator and the absolute best version of themselves, and they have no struggles and no issues and no worries and no early onset illnesses and no pain and no suffering and no guilt and no shame, sign me up. But that fucking research doesn't exist. And so I'm going to leave with this. You have a decision to make today. You have a choice to make today about what legacy you want to leave, about who you want to be. And I pray that you make a decision to understand the facts, to understand everything that I just laid out. And I hope that you will do whatever it takes to be the hero of your own story. Unbroken Nation, thank you so much for listening. Please like, subscribe, comment, share, tell a friend. And until next time, my friends, be unbroken. I'll see you.